am Noriko Bullful, and this is Uncut News. Jogdeo may have welcomed them back with open arms, but the High Court says not all is forgiven. Several days ago, the High Court ruled that Ashni Singh and Winston Brosington must still face charges for misconduct in public office. The charges were brought by the coalition government during their time in office. Ashni Singh was finance minister while Brosington was head of NISL under the Ramatar administration. According to reports, the written judgment will soon be made available, so let's see if they'll actually spend a day in jail or not. Another day, another scam. We're getting targeted by Nigerian scammers now, and according to police, they just caught one who's been operating over here. Ladies, watch out, cause Nigerian national Uche Raymond Okeye was charged with running a scheme mainly targeting Guyanese women on Facebook. Police stated that Okeye was suspected to be part of a multinational criminal network that scams their victims by promising them expensive merchandise after the payment of an exorbitant fee. So far, 4 victims have come forward. Okeye was charged with 2 counts of obtaining money by false pretense, demanding money by menace, and having entered the nation illegally. He pleaded not guilty to the charges and was remanded to prison until December 7th, 2020. Toku just told one convicted drug dealer that now that he's served his time, it's now time to run those pockets. Earlier this month, the High Court ruled that Soku can seize over 10 million Guyana dollars from convicted felon Kevin Gordon on the grounds that it was drug money. The court further ordered the state to transfer the currency to the consolidated fund and that Gordon pay the court 1.5 million Guyana dollars on or before December 18th, 2020. The asset forfeiture is in connection with a drug bust that occurred on May 28th, 2017 in Parika. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2011 Toyota Rockdis. It comes with paddle shift, TV, navigation stereo, crystal lights, mud rims, fog lamps, and much more. Pay cash for $2.6 million, or pay down as low as $520,000 with $50,000 monthly, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Rowe Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet deal. Today, the court found perverted pedo private school teacher Wazir Khan guilty of getting inappropriate with the child. The court alleges that on March 9th, 2019, he engaged in sexual activity with the child under the age of 16 and abused a position of trust. He was slapped with a $1 million fine and sentenced to prison where he'll most likely have his position of trust abused for the next 3 years. 38-year-old crackhead Devin Anderson was arrested last night after he allegedly beat his mother to death and injured his 4-year-old niece. On Thursday, a relative discovered the badly beaten body of 63-year-old Jennifer Judith Anderson inside a wardrobe in her home. Reports are that Devin would beat his mother often, and in this particular occasion, he was high as a kite when he allegedly beat his mother to death and injured his 4-year-old niece. He then ran off. Police found him at a hotel on John Street in Georgetown, presumably freebasing on those crack rocks. Remember kids, crack is whack, and that's a fact, cause just one puff and you can't go back. Smoke too much and you'll catch a heart attack. Following yesterday's visit from Brazil's foreign minister, the government announced the establishment of a special committee to advance works on the Linden-Latham Road. The engagement is a follow-up to a recent meeting held in Suriname with Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro. For many cities in Brazil's interior, Georgetown is actually the nearest seaport. As such, Brazil is eager to ensure the free flow of traffic between the two countries. Other areas discussed included regional security, trade, energy, and of course the pandemic. You can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your existing side hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy through Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Today, 54-year-old Dwayne Williams of Wisma Housing Scheme Linden was found murdered behind a shop. Williams, also known as Levi or Sweetie Man, was stabbed sometime between last night and early Friday morning. He was last seen leaving his mother's home around 9 p.m. He subsequently left for home but never made it. A relative found his body lying with a gaping wound to the throat and another to the right wrist. Nevertheless, an investigation is ongoing. It's now time for today's Runner Report. Today, the nation recorded 34 new cases. The total number of deaths now stands at 149. There are now 4 persons in the ICU and 802 persons in home isolation. The total number of known cases in the country is now 5,310. So, please people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now, Let's take a look at news in the region. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro says he won't take the Rona vaccine and calls face masks the last taboo to fall. However, Bolsonaro also said that any shot that is certified by Brazil's health agency will be available for free to the public. The Brazilian president, who contracted the virus in July, has long resisted the advice of most scientists and health experts to restrict social and economic activity, arguing that damage from a lockdown would be worse than the pandemic. So you see when I say that he is worse than Trump, because he seriously is. It's robbery season, people. If I were you, I would consider getting security for the home or business. I personally recommend Sheriff Security Service. I find that they are the most professional, with well-trained armed or unarmed guards. Get some security this Christmas, people. 6 U.S. oil executives have been jailed after being found guilty of corruption by a court in Venezuela. The men all worked for Citgo, a U.S. refining company owned by Venezuela, and they all denied wrongdoing. Citgo's former president, Jose Pereira, was sentenced to over 13 years in prison and given a $2 million fine. The others received sentences between 8 and 10 years. The group, all U.S. citizens or permanent residents, were arrested in November 2017 after being called to Caracas for a meeting. The group was then accused of signing a deal that was unfavorable for Venezuela's state oil firm. One of the group's lawyers said that the men planned to appeal and described them as political prisoners. And now for our weird news story of the day. Stevie Wonder says there's a ribbon in the sky, but thanks to one commercial jet pilot, there's a willy in the sky over Russia. Russian airline Aeroflot is in hot water after one of its passenger planes appeared to trace a phallic-like route in the sky during a commercial flight. The Russian Aviation Authority said the crew of a Moscow to Yekaterinburg flight deviated from its authorized flight plan on November 11th for maneuvers with 102 passengers on board. When the fancy flying was finished, radars picked up the shape of, well, a giant, 20 or 100 mile long body in the sky. Aeroflot has not commented on the matter. Imagine going to the seawall to give some blow, and when you're done, you try to start your engine. Click, click, nothing. That's because you don't have a Platin battery. With its sealed maintenance-free calcium alloy plates, advanced technological build, and rigid testing process, you'll be on your way home to your wife in no time. Platin batteries are available countrywide and are imported and distributed by Caribbean Motor Spares. 174 Zeeland East Bank as Equipo. Call them on telephone number 609-7621. Moving on to our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we just might read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, what should the government do to protect those who serve in our nation's military? Jay Jairam says the soldiers are there to protect the nation, but who is protecting them? The government ought to provide details to the public when a soldier dies. Making these incidents a secret makes the public wonder about the government. I agree fully. And Adam Prasad said, seriously, who the GDF protecting Guyana from? The government should disband the army and strengthen the GPF. That aside, all death must be taken seriously from the authorities. Honestly, I wish we could live in a time where we did not lead a military at all. But, hey, we've got oil now, so we've got to watch out. Am I right? Anyway, brighten up the holiday season and decorate your home with a new stock of vinyl, carpet, rubber towel, leatherette, glassware, doilies, table plastic rugs, and roll runner easy-to-clean carpet. Available in many colors, patterns, and designs to choose from. Beat the rush and enjoy the glorious days of shopping at Ravina's and Anand's. Ravina's and Anand's have unbeatable prices. For fast and comfortable shopping, visit them at Ravina's at 17A Water Street or Anand's at 108 Regent Street, or call them on telephone number 225-6595. So for tonight's question, the government seems really serious about building the road to Brazil. Not only will it bring more money and trade, but it will also bring more people roaming free through the hinterland, mostly undetected. Are we ready for the influx of people, or should the government focus on security and other things first? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good, we just might feature it in Monday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Until the next time, I'm Noriko Bullford saying, have a great weekend. And as always, don't drink and drive, or you'll end up on Monday's episode the hard way. Ha ha! Good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now!